Hello everybody and welcome back to Everything Retro. And you're probably thinking, where have I been all this time for about 7 months? Well, things have happened, but we won't get into that in a minute. But what I will get into is the fact is a lot of the cars are gone. So let me turn you around and I can tell you what is gone. As you can see, the Rover 825 Coupe is gone. The Lada is gone. And the Hyundai is now gone. So that's 3 cars gone in a matter of a few months. I thought it was time to shift a few on. As you know, I've started doing up the Rover just a little bit, just to help it on to the new owner, doing a bit of welding and stuff like that. So that went. The Lada, what was it parked over here, we just gave it a clean, got it up and running again, and that was it. We shifted it on, sold it on. It was going to work out to be a bit too much money to throw into it, to never get a return on it if I ever was to sell it. So I thought I might as well just sell it and get what I could for it. So basically what I sold it for is what I bought it for. So I lost out a lot of money on parts, but in the end of the day I managed to save another car. Even though I had it for a long time, it was sat up on the garden there for about 5 years. Anyway, the Punto, the wife took it off the road before Christmas because I gave her the Hyundai. It needs a couple of tyres, it needs a bit of work. Unfortunately, for some reason, I don't know why, we left it for about 6 months. Started up, went to move it, and it just died. Didn't want to start up again. So I think the fuel pump is packed up on it, but we'll look into that. Anyway, header update. Alfa GTV, that's coming up for a bit of restoration work. It's a little bit of body work needs doing on it and stuff like that. It's past its m.o.t. with flying colours, just a visor on a wiper blade, that was it really. The 156, unfortunately the 156, just before Christmas I started her up just the usual because I didn't use the cars over winter, and she sounded like a bag of nails. It sounded like a diesel. The variator, it's gone on the engine. So a couple of months ago I replaced that, put a kit in it, all new cam belt and stuff like that. It's all been done. Then the guy who I bought it off of, he had resprayed the side skirts and the rear bumper and the petrol flap, but I noticed it was all crazed. It was all crazed up badly. It all looked terrible. Let me just show you what I mean. If I go around to the petrol cap, look at the petrol cap. It feels like sandpaper. It feels absolutely terrible. It feels like sandpaper. Same with the side skirts, but the rear bumper was the worst of all, so I took it off and I've resprayed the rear bumper, rubbed it all down, resprayed it. So it's all been done. I put plenty of lacquer on it because of being an outside job, but it does want buffing in a few places. It wants buffing again. I flat polished it with 1200 and then buffed it, but it needs going over again in places. But so what's next on the project, you say? Well, I've actually bought this. Yeah, what to do with it? Well, the other thing I want to say is the 156. If you notice, I've changed the wheels, refurbished the calipers again. Discs have gone a bit rusty, so I've refurbished all the wheels myself. The car does need a really good clean and wash. Yeah, there we are. Just tuck the mirrors in a minute. Well, we also redone these as well. So you're probably thinking, what's the wife driving there? If the Punto's up there and you gave her the Hyundai. Well, she's also got an Alfa Romeo as well. I bought a 147 for her. So So she's smoking around in a 147, which we'll bring up onto the channel because it needs a couple of things doing to it. But we do have this one, you know, this lovely little alpha spider, little 916. It's an m.o.t failure. It does need some work done to it. Picked it up last night. You know, you can see the bumper needs redoing. The bonnet is slightly, but it's not as bad as I expected it to be. I mean, it's a very straight car. Anyway, we'll get this one up onto the garden and then we'll have a good look around it. Right then, she's here, so let's have a look around it. Let's start at the front. Right, well, bonnet. As you can see, it's got loads of this. A few little dings here and there, but I mean, you've got to think it's an old car. There's a few on around here, a few around there. But I mean, it's an old car, so you can't expect much. The wheels, I'm not a big fan of these wheels, but these look in reasonable condition apart from the odd knock here and there, but they're in pretty good condition really. Tires a little bit low. So we got a few marks on the front little wing. Door not too bad, there's a couple of dings in it, parking dents from car parks, always a nightmare. Round the back, the pin and framing badges have badly faded. The trim's a little bit stuck out just there, but where they usually rot around here, this one's really good and it sounds good, doesn't sound crap. Rear wheel arch feels all okay. That might be had some work done in there, and might have had a bit of filler put in there at one time, shaping up. But it all seems pretty good. It has been resprayed because you can see overspray on the rubber. So this wing at one time has been redone. Rear wheel, yeah, it looks pretty good. Tire, yeah, there's plenty of tread on that tire. Around the back, rear bumper. A few marks from parking. Looks like some marks have gone into the paint when it's been resprayed at one time. Badges are all on there. Rear badge, a little bit faded. This luggage rack, I'm not a big fan of this. Some people like it, I don't. Aerial, that's used as a chocolate fire guard. I'm scratching just on there. Yet again, let's have a look on this part. It looks like he's had some work done at one time on both sides of the wheel arches. A scuff there, scratch. Is it a bush or a tree? Or some sort of bush, I'd say, not a tree. And there's a few like wavy scratches all the way down the side. But nothing, I reckon they'd polish out. Right, up to the door. The door, the lock, looks like they've put the wrong key in or something. There's a few little dings in it, a few scratches. But like I said, it's an old car. Front wing, there's a little mark just there as well. But I think it's like these doors, I mean, they sometimes drop. They're heavy. Wing's okay. Front tire and wheel looks okay. Looks like there's plenty of tread on that still. Round here, paint's come off around here. That I want redoing. See, this door fits pretty good up against the line and all the way down. I'll show you on the other side. It seems a bit out. So all around here seems to be all okay. Not much in the way of marks or scratches. Few buff marks. But the other thing is this door. Now it's either the door, which it lines up just there, but not lining up here. So this seems to be a bit like it's not sitting down far enough, if you understand what I mean. So I noticed it in all the pictures, even the pictures he sent, well, not sent me, but when it was on for sale. The other thing is, it's got a couple of little tears in the hood, rear screen modification. But yeah, so it does need replacing. It's had a bit of, what you call it, been under a tree and bush or something. Right, let's have a look in the inside the car. Right, inside the car as usual. These things are an absolute pain in the arse. They never ever seem to stay in place. Driver's seat, tiny little hole there, some wear, bit split on the side just there, bit worn. Got the lovely Alfa Romeo. Inside the car, passenger seat, really good. Just the driver's seat lets it down really. Let's climb in. So inside the car, fuel gauge. I'm not know about if this fuel gauge works or not, but it goes up and it tells me that's how much fuel it's got. But in the pictures, it was showing exactly the same. Don't look like it drops or whether or not the needle or something like that's stuck. Oh, and it don't light up neither. So I don't think there's anything serious. Everything else seems to work on the instrument panels. We're in the sunlight a little bit here, aren't we? Radio, that is used as a chocolate fire guard. Inside here, not, hang on, let's have a look. Not a lot, locking wheel nut. Got the boot release. Don't think this has got aircon. No, it hasn't got aircon model. You don't really need it, do you? It's a convertible. That's why you put the roof down. Sun visors, tiny little mirror. Look how cute that is, tiny little mirror. Tiny little mirror this side as well. Everything seems to work around here. So we'll have a look in the boot. Door card, in reasonable condition apart from some wear on there. Apart from that, pretty good thing. Right, let's have a look in the boot. Right, in the boot, not a lot. Spare wheel, some sort of cover, some locking wheel nuts, insulation tape, ice scraper, bag or something, some sort of oil, antifreeze, what was the oil. So that's about it. But unfortunately, the this rack is made a lot of marks, chips in the paint. This side's the worst, it's really wore away. That's about it on that, really. So we'll get the roof down and have a look around it a bit more. There is slight sort of like overspray or a buff mark just there, but yeah, there we are. It's not too bad condition really. It's pretty straight. It's got a few dings and dents I can see on the driver's door from the car park, but I mean that's exactly the same. My other GTV is loads of dents, and I've even got a new dent on the door of my GTV now thanks to a family member. I won't mention his name because he might watch the video. Anyway, there we are. So let's get the roof down, then we'll have a look with it with the roof down. Right, roof down. Okay. Right, you can see it is this catch. It's not, that catch is not locking properly. So that is why when you shut the door, that's sticking up. So if that catch is mended, that door will shut properly. The line is perfect. See, when that goes down, that'll line up perfect with that. So this one is not clipping down properly, it's staying up, and it's not locking. So I would say the catch needs adjusting on that. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. Obviously somebody's had a problem with it, but I've got plenty of time on my hands. But there we are, that's that. Oh, the other problem is in there, in here, I've got to keep looking at the camera now and then. In here is a snapped key. So unfortunately, when you want to get in the car, you've got to unlock it from the passenger side, unlock it from the passenger side. Right, the other side. You've got all the rubber on this side. That comes down a bit too much there, doesn't it? So that shouldn't really do that. It should have sprung back up and stay on a spring. Alright, we'll have a look at that in a minute. But this side is, you can feel it was catched. Right, the other problem is, what's the other problem? Right, this is knackered, and if it ain't for that book on top, this comes open. There is a CD player in there, but I don't think it works. I think he said it don't work. So there is, this does need sorting out, is all sort of. So that's holding it down at the moment, is that book. I'm sorry about the shaky bit of camera work. It's quite awkward because I've got the sun shining right down on me and I can't really see anything. The doors, not too bad. This one shuts really nice. But the other side is a little bit of a slammer. And I've noticed if you don't slam, the interior light stays on and the door handle doesn't return. So it does need a small bit of work done to it, but nothing, you know, what can't be done. It's just, all it is just a muck about car. So look at that other side again, because it's a bit of a, what you call it with this roof. I've never, that side's still up. I've never owned one of these as a convertible. I've only had the earth tops. I drove them when they were brand new, but that was about it. But I never had a chance to put the roof down because they had all the protective stuff on it because they were going off to be sold. But they're a great looking little car, and this one pulls like a train. It really does go quite well. There's a few things that need doing to it. It's got a small oil leak, bits and pieces. I think it might need a tiny little bit of welding and stuff like that. A few suspension parts are probably a bit wore out and probably need replacing. But I mean, you can get most of all the parts for these cars and not really expensive. So that's that anyway. So if you want to see more on this little spider, subscribe to the channel. It's free. You haven't got to pay. And my son will be helping me with this one on and off when he's not working. So, and also the wife as well. She likes it. And you'll get to see her 147 hopefully, and later on as well we'll do some filming on it. I wish I'd done a lot of filming on the 156 actually, but I didn't think about it at the time. I was busy doing other things. Like I said, over Christmas a lot was happening. I was decorating, then I became ill, so I was ill for quite a while. Got Christmas out of the way, started the car up and it sounded like a diesel, so I thought, well, I'll leave it for now. And in the next few months I've done it and I've sold a few cars as well, so this is just another little toy to tinker around with. Like I said, I always wanted one. It was either this or a 156 Busso, but we had a 156 Busso lined up. We went to look at it and the guy didn't bother turning up, so he told me to be there at a certain time. He messaged me to say he was running late, and I can't hang around. I had to get back to Bristol to head into hospital, so for a visit, not for me, for a visit. So yep, there we are. So if you want to see more on this car, please like, subscribe and tune into the channel. It's free, like I said, it's free. You haven't got to pay. Just like, subscribe, press the notification bell, and you'll get all the new updates on this little car. Okay, thank you very much for watching.